Hey guys, Mr. Marcus here, and as you can see, we're back with some MyClub Marcus Mafia, as you of course can see. And I've changed it up a little bit with the terms of editing. I'm of course showing you now the beginning of the thing after you click the first match, so you can sort of see how many points I need to of course get promoted to the next division. So in this case, in Division 7 you need 14 points to get promoted. I already have 3, so I need 11 more points, which is essentially 4 wins, which isn't too bad and is quite easy. Well, it should be quite easy to get. So in today's episode we have 2 matches for you from Division 7. I'm going to also change up the way I get my matchmaking. So instead of having it so that I, as you see there, face a guy who's in Division 6, I'm going to make it so it's only the same division as me, because of course it's getting a bit retarded when I face players who have a much better team than me because they're in a division higher than me and all that sort of stuff. So it's just ridiculous, to be honest. So as we see there, this guy had a pretty decent squad. Had Alba at the back with Thiago Silva as well, Serge Aurier at right back. Had Fernandinho actually in midfield, which was pretty decent as well as Shirla Pastore. With like no recognised striker, because I mean, to be fair, Conan isn't really a recognised striker. And for some reason he's got Patrick Vieira on the bench, which is just weird. So yeah, in today's episode we actually have 2 matches for you. The first match, which is really weird against this guy, and the second match, well, it has a really weird ending, and the second match is just against another really good opposition as well, so it'll be good for, basically, be fun to commentate over, to be honest. So in this match we play of course with a random stadium. We get picked with the National Stadium in Warsaw, which is always an interesting stadium to play at, even though it doesn't really matter, regardless of the weather. They always seem to have the cover on, which is just really weird. But in the 3rd minutes of the match, after he gets a yellow card for Thiago Silva, we get an opportunity for Arcuvio, our left back, takes a free kick, pretty decent free kick, and it's a good save from his keeper. Goes up for a corner kick, which Januzaj will take, because Januzaj is quite a decent corner kick taker, and he hits it into the back post where Daniel Sturridge tries to head it down, doesn't head it down to anyone, and he basically gets away with a run with Shirla. And for some reason I decide not to pick Subotic or anyone to run towards him. I went all the way back with Turbi as I'm trying to stop Shirla. Eventually Ogbonna gets the ball, tries to play it through. Unfortunately for me, it comes through to Yakonan, through to Sio, and Sio pops in the back of net to give him a 1-0 lead. And I was like, well, you know, fair enough, I made a mistake defensively and he sort of basically capitalised on it. But it was a little bit ridiculous with Shirla somehow making it through very easily. As we see here in the 25th minute, again he plays through Yakonan, and Yakonan makes it 2-0 to him. And I was a bit disappointed because I'd literally not had a shot in this game yet, and as you can see here in the 27th minute, it started to lag a little bit. But it wasn't too much of not an issue at all, as he runs on the right hand side, runs all the way down the right hand side, crosses it in for Schürrle just to pop up with a header. Don't know what Ter Stegen's doing, as basically just lets it go over the top of his head and basically makes it 3-0 to him. Basically before the half-hour mark, which is absolutely ridiculous. But as you see there in the 32nd minute of the match, Daniel Sturridge actually tests goalkeeper, which was a pretty decent test, but I mean, it wasn't really much. This guy had completely dominated the match and basically deserved to be 3-0 ahead. As we see here in the 41st minute of the match, he's on ball with Pastore, tries to run past 2 players, again tries to run past another player, eventually Ogbonna gets back to it, but he then fouls Ogbonna and Pastore gets the ball. Well, Pastore pops him back in the net, but actually fortunately for me, of course, it gives it as a free kick. As we see, Januzaj hit the post in the last minutes of the first half, or the last seconds of the first half, and he breaks away with it again one more time. But as you see there, 3-0 final, well, a half-time score. And as you see there, I've had 5 shots, 1 on target. He's had 3 shots, 3 on target. So basically he's just taking his chances, while I've just been extremely lacklustre in my composure up front. But as you see in the 66th minute of the match here, Marquinhos down his right hand side waits for Januzaj to make a run into the box, and basically no one made a run into the box. But unfortunately for me, it comes out to Daniel Sturridge, who tries to get a shot away, but it lags just as I get the opportunity away. But as you see here in the 75th minute, well, basically from the 75th minute onwards, I sort of just took the opportunity to show that the game continued to lag for ages, with a little lag symbol just appearing over and over again, eventually until Marquinhos gets his shot here and scores in the 80th minute. And then from the 80th minute onwards, the lag thing continued to not disappear. It was just there constantly, and that is the reason why this has a really weird ending. As you see here, it doesn't go anywhere. No one was on the internet in my house. There's nothing going on in terms of internet wise other than me playing my game, and for some ridiculous reason in the last minutes of the match, the game lags so badly that it disconnects both of us from the PES Konami server, which is ridiculous. As you can hear in the background, I don't know what was going on with the audio there. That had literally nothing to do with me, and it was just the game just went mental. As it says, the match should now be abandoned as the connection between you and Plage Journée has basically got worse, and the match was deemed void. So I was like, what the hell? Like, why would the game make me disconnect in literally the last second of the match? The most retarded thing ever. So yeah, we go into the second match of this episode, and the last match, of course, of this episode, and we go up against the guy who I'm sure, again, is in Division 6, actually might be in Division 7, I'm not even sure, but he was a pretty good player as well. But again, there was no need to show the first match. I was just showing it because it's just really weird that it kicked me out when it really shouldn't have bothered to even try and kick me out, because nothing was going on with the internet. It was just really, really weird, as if the guy started to lag switch, or like something just started happening on his internet connection, because it was nothing to do with me, which just made, it was really weird. It was really weird. But in this second match of this episode, we face against a guy called T, or is it T Upin, or L Upin, or Lupin 6-3, and he has a team with Pusella, and again, like I said, he's in Division 6, so like when people are in a division higher than you, I usually expect him to be a relatively much better player than me. And he was a relatively much better player than me. As you see there, he has Andrea Schürrle, Juan Matinho, he's got Griezmann, Bender, Marquisio as well. He's got Mama Biram Diouf up front, who's not even that good a player, as well as Sergio Ramos, Vincent Kompany, Carvajal, and he's got Begovic in goal. So he had a pretty good squad. And I went into this game thinking, well, I always have an opportunity, because, you know, people could have the best squads in the game, and I could still, like, give them a good match. But this guy in particular, I don't know what it was, but his Diouf was probably the most overpowered thing I've ever seen, ever. So, the 28th minute of the match here, Daniel Sturridge on the ball, runs past 2 or 3 players, tries to get a pass into Marquisio to make the run in, and it doesn't really come to anything. But the guy throws it out, and it comes out, and as we see here on the ball, he has the ball of Carrasco, one through ball, through to Diouf, Diouf rounds my goalkeeper and pops him back to the net. So he scores a goal, basically, from a long through ball. And it's the most annoying thing in the world whenever you can see the goal like that, because it's just like, well, you've done all this hard work of defending properly, and he scores a ridiculous goal. In the 43rd minute of the match here, after a good defensive header from Ogbonna, Kirby gets the ball, can't run past Matinho. Matinho again runs to the byline, crosses it in, and for some ridiculous reason, none of my players marked anyone, and Carrasco pops him back in the net to give him a 2-0 lead. But when you look at the stats, it's just ridiculous, as he has 3 shots, 2 on target. I had 1 shot, 1 on target. So I was like, well, like, I was a bit pissed off, but it was like, well, maybe he deserved to be ahead, but maybe not 2-0. And basically from the kickoff, with him kicking off, actually, he did a stupid rainbow flick, as they always goddamn do. And from that, basically, I took my opportunity here. As you see, Marquisio on the ball, plays it into Daniel Sturridge, and Sturridge pops him back in the net to give us a 2-1 lead, one goal back, and give us the opportunity to sort of bring it back in the second half, to be honest. But about 5 or 6 minutes later, Martinez on the ball does a really, really bad pass into literally no one. And again, he plays through Mama Biram Diouf, and Diouf just chips my goalkeeper. And it's the most ridiculous thing is that Mama Biram Diouf isn't even that good a player. But anyway, in the 71st minute there, Daniel Sturridge nearly gets another opportunity to nearly score a goal. Doesn't come to anything, and in the last minutes of the match, he gets another opportunity with Carrasco here on the ball, runs basically through the middle of my team, waits for Mohamed Biram Diouf to make a run, doesn't actually give it to him, gives it to Griezmann instead. Griezmann just runs inside for a little bit, he skins past one player, gets a shot away, and it's a pretty decent save from Ter Stegen. And then he sort of just started messing about a little bit with the corner kick. It took him absolutely ages to take it. He kicks it straight to me. I just clear the ball because I know that it's just going to end. The game's going to end regardless of what I do. And the game ended there. So 3-1 loss against this guy, and of course it was actually quite fair, and it was fair enough for me, because I knew for the fact that I didn't deserve to win the first game, I didn't deserve to win the second game, and for me to lose the game, it sort of makes sense, because, you know, it made perfect sense as well. So with that being said, this is the end of this episode. If you have enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel for more, and catch you later.